Hi, I'm Namrata Purohit. I run the Pilates studios across the country and I'm a Pilates expert and a fitness instructor. And today I have with us the president of endoscopy, IVF, and gynecology with 30 plus years of experience, a woman's woman, someone who I instantly vibe with, the owner of Bloom Clinic, Mumbai, Dr. Nandita Palshetkar.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So nice to see you, doctor. And I'm so happy to be doing this with you because today we have a really important topic that a lot of us girls, are worried about PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Now, as a fitness expert, I do know a little bit about it. I do know what it stands for, kind of what it means. We all know that it means irregular periods and that it could affect the hormones and your mood and, even fertility.
Yeah.
Could you maybe tell us a little more about what is PCOS?
See, actually, first of all, let me tell you, I'm really happy to be talking to you because, see, you have a background knowledge, you get a lot of patients. So I'm sure the questions you'll ask me will be the ones which the patients ask you. So, PCOS has become very, very common now. Actually, we Indians have a genetic predisposition towards it. If your parents have diabetes or blood pressure, father can pass on the gene. Do you know that?
I did not
Yeah.
actually.
So if your father has diabetes and metabolic syndrome, etc.,
Yeah.
they can pass on the
Yeah.
gene to the child. And what actually happens is, as you said, it's simple hormonal imbalance.
Right.
And the hormonal imbalance is all connected to the brain, to the mind, to the ovaries, everything. And part of it is also your lifestyle and obesity. So you may have the gene, but it may not get activated unless some influences come in.
Got
Like, you live a very sedentary lifestyle, you don't eat properly, obesity kicks in.
Yeah.
So all those things can add to it. Now, PCOS today is not only irregular periods. You know, there is an element of metabolism which gets affected. So you can, as you age, become diabetic, get blood pressure, and even heart issues can happen. And the latest studies have shown that PCOS itself causes mental problems. First you thought
Yeah.
that maybe it's the body shaming, you
Yeah.
don't feel confident, you have acne on your face, you have facial hair, so you don't feel confident. No, but the PCOS disease itself can cause a lot of anxiety, can cause depression, and that is what we doctors have to really look out for. That PCOS is not only periods and metabolic syndrome, etc., but even mental health. And another very common aspect of PCOS, which I see, obviously I'm an infertility specialist, so a lot of girls come with difficulty in having a baby. So these are, I think, four main aspects of PCOD, and definitely, there is a lot we can do about it. But diagnosis is also very uh,
Right.
important.
So, from everything you said, I have lots of questions from just what you said. So, I like you said, it also comes from the genes, like from
Right.
the parents.
Yeah.
So, it's something that's already probably in our body.
Yeah.
So, it's something that may or may not get activated, for lack of a better word, depending on lifestyle generally.
Yes.
So, maybe like you said, being active. So that's why we always
Yeah.
advocate working out.
Absolutely.
And is it also related to the visceral fat? Because I mean, I heard a lot
So-
about like abdominal fat and visceral fat maybe playing a role in.
So what happens is, it's a vicious cycle.
Right.
We don't know whether visceral fat causes PCOD or the PCOD causes visceral fat,
Okay.
but they're both interconnected.
Yes.
And in PCOD, we have seen that the waist ratio starts increasing.
Got it.
So the waist hip ratio, once it increases, those are the types who have the bad fat. It's known as the white
Yeah,
fat.
yeah.
So the brown fat is the good fat and the white fat. And this can cause metabolic disease. So the girls who have PCOD with metabolic disease usually have a waist which is bigger. And
Yeah.
that is your visceral fat. Visceral fat means what?
Of course,
Simple, around the organ, the fat accumulates.
Yes. Yeah.
And that can affect the functioning of the organ. So
Right.
I think it's
So-
very, very important.
So, like you said, with PCOS, there's obviously weight gain, which could happen because of PCOS, or the weight gain could trigger the PCOS. Now, obviously, weight management would be one of the ways to kind of
Absolutely.
keep it under control. But is this something that can be cured, or is this something that's managed?
See, first of all, remember one thing. You may have the
Right.
genes, but you may not get the
God,
disease.
yeah, of
So,
course.
yeah, so there's no cure. But at the same time, you can absolutely prevent it, not manage. I'm not talking about managing.
Yeah.
So, I think there are some unfortunate girls who are the lean PCOS.
Yeah.
They will be absolutely underweight and still have PCOD. Now, those are the ones who need medical therapy because there's no other choice. But those who are a little overweight and they can lose weight and they can reverse their disease. So, lifestyle is very important. Remember that in our population, Indian population, what happens is there's this gene, which is for hunger. And that horror receptor, which actually suppresses hunger, is down in Indian, 1/3 of the Indian girls who
So
have
it's not
PCOD.
my fault. I'm always hungry.
No. So in Indian girls who have PCOD, 1/3 may not respond to regular medication.
Right.
They have this hunger which they cannot control. And also there is another gene which converts the white fat into brown fat, that is also down regulated. So your exercise,
Yeah.
it upregulates these genes so that the white fat gets converted to brown fat. And the food, the type of
Plays a
food that
big
you eat,
role,
the good food, the healthy food, it down regulates the hunger. So the hunger is reduced. So that is an important combination which we really need to do.
So that's how you would work
Yeah.
on kind of, like I said, maybe managing it or
Yeah.
keeping it under control.
Absolutely.
And in terms of, like you said, also, fertility can be an issue in
Yeah.
people who have PCOS. So is there a different way that maybe somebody would manage that issue?
I think, the most important thing that we need to do today in any girl, whether she's PCOD, whether she's young or whatever, I would say between 25 to 35, do your serum AMH levels. I know it's a blood test and it helps us diagnose PCOD and other problems also. So I personally think that any gynecologist, when they come to our clinic, young girls, we tend to do a AMH, just to
Yeah.
have an idea of what is this girl,
Yeah.
where does she
Where does she
fall in
stand?
and
Yeah.
all that. And then depending on that level, you would advise treatment. I think that's very, very important because this test kind of gives us an idea. It individualizes therapy. So I can individualize each PCOS patient depending on their ultrasound, depending on their, AMH levels.
Yeah.
And of course, they're clinical,
Yeah.
And it's, I think it's amazing the way we can decide, okay, this patient, this therapy is required, this patient, we change it a little bit, we twitch it a little bit. If she's got acne, no facial hair, you twitch it
Yeah.
a little bit. If she's got facial hair,
So it can be that
or waist,
customized,
yes,
the
yes,
treatment
yes,
plan.
absolutely.
And obviously, for people who might be wanting to conceive, or for people, is it different for people who may say, okay, I never want a baby, and for somebody who says, I want to have a child, is the treatment plan different?
Yeah, Namrata, thanks. I lost track of that actually. But you know what? Now, so PCOD patients means what? The hormonal imbalance causes the woman not to ovulate. Okay, so when she doesn't ovulate, what we do is we give her hormones so that she gets a period regularly, or we give her medicines to ovulate. So when a girl comes to me and she says, I want to have a baby, I give her medicines with which she'll ovulate. And she'll produce the egg, and then, of course, if she has, intercourse with her husband, the sperm and the egg will fertilize, and she'll carry a baby. But this is the problem with PCOD patients: the ovulation. The ovary doesn't function properly, and whereas those girls who don't want to have children, I put them on oral contraceptive pills. Now it's very important, the counseling, because if a, say, 16-year-old is taking an oral contraceptive pill, the world will look at it and say, my God, is she active?
Yeah.
Kind of. So it has to be explained, and the girl's also young, so we have to tell them this is a medication.
Yeah.
This is not for preventing contraception in your case. So, oral contraceptive pills for those who don't want the baby. And for those who want the baby, we have many medications which we give depending on their AMH level and their sonography.
Okay.
So, that helps me kind of tailor the treatment towards that patient. And a lot of patients, say I have 10 patients of PCOD. 3 patients would actually conceive with just these medications and have, intercourse,
Yeah.
planned intercourse, what we call it. Next 3, say 7 are left over. The next 3 patients would require an intrauterine insemination, which is a technology where we take the sperms and put it inside the uterus. So the baby is actually formed in the body naturally. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's called IUI.
Yes.
Success rate is about 20%. Yeah, we do try 3-4 attempts. Okay, and 3 patients would conceive out of the 7. The remaining 4 require IVF. And they definitely will benefit from IVF. So IVF is simple. We
Yeah.
prepare the baby outside the body
Yeah.
in the lab. So we take the eggs from the girl, the sperms from the husband, create that baby, and that baby I pick it up and put it into the uterus. Success rate is around 50-60%,
Wow.
which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, so when there is difficulty in conception, the girls have to go through this process. But of course, everything depends on the AMH. And if they are a little plump, I tell them try and lose weight, just give them a little guidance. Exercise is very important.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure, Namrata, you also know that. And, it's great that we can work together to help
Yes,
these
of
girls.
course.
I think it's very, very
Of course,
important.
because I also feel like with the exercise, like you said, weight management is one part of it. So the nutrition and the,
Yes.
eating well, exercising well, which will also lead to better sleep,
Yeah.
will kind of help
Of
the entire
course.
system. But also what I find is their mood gets better.
Yeah.
Because
I think endorphins,
exactly
your exercise.
the endorphins. So I think that's also a very, very important part of managing PCOS, like having those good endorphins and the feel good factor, because sometimes I think people with PCOS tend to feel a little low, a little down.
Yeah.
But I think this kind of, at least I've noticed, really just helps them feel better.
You definitely, it's an upper.
Yes.
I think. Let me tell you one thing. There was a research done in our thing where, supposing I advise 100 patients diet and exercise, lifestyle modification, as we say, how many follow?
Oh my God, I can guess.
Guess,
Like,
guess.
Out of 100, I would say maybe like 15.
You're so close. 22% was the
Yeah.
number that this study actually
Yeah.
quoted.
Yeah.
That 70 to 80% patients don't follow it.
Yeah.
So I think, but that's changing, I think.
I think it is.
It is
I
changing
think
because I think people like you are making, awareness. I think I think the celebrity angle also helps when they, talk about it.
Yes.
So I think influencers like you have made a lot of difference. So I think we need to reach out to people and make them realize they don't need medications
Yeah.
if they actually use,
Lifestyle,
follow
change
up
their
this.
lifestyle.
Yes.
And now, I mean, an important question: how do we diagnose this? Is there only one way, or are there multiple ways? And
So see, PCOD is diagnosed by multiple ways. Obviously, the clinical presentation, as I said,
Yes.
irregular periods,
Yeah.
acne, facial hair, the waist is larger. There's something called pigmentation of the skin, acanthosis, we call it in our medical lingo.
Right.
Then the second is a blood test, which I really believe in, AMH. For the past 20 years, I've been using it to diagnose PCOD and other problems like poor ovarian reserve, menopause also, it helps us in those kind of patients. So serum AMH, and the best part of this test is that it can be done any time of the period. It can be, done on, it doesn't need an empty stomach or anything. So I think this is the question which all patients ask me. Because previously we had a test which had to be done on day 2 or day 3 of the period. So, that knowledge has percolated.
I do remember doing that like 15 years ago. Maybe.
Yeah. And you still didn't need it 15 years ago. But yeah, so serum AMH can be done anytime. It's very accurate and it really guides the doctor,
Yeah.
how to go about. And the third test is an ultrasound. Now, ultrasound actually shows the image, but ultrasound is not useful in young girls, like adolescent girls and younger
Yeah.
girls. It's not the diagnostic factor. But in the older patients, yes, but not all of them show that ultrasound picture. So it's important to, corroborate everything. It's not only a diagnosis from by one test.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, AMH actually comes closer to being the one test which can help us diagnose.
So I guess if there's one thing that you would tell most of the youngsters out there and all the women out there is do the serum AMH test, the
I
blood
would
test.
love to say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but that is something, I mean, I'm sure it would help manage it eventually.
Yeah, because I believe in
know,
it and
yeah.
I've been using it to
Yeah.
treat my patients, and it's really helped me in the long run.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. That was, well, very insightful because I had a lot of questions about it, and I'm sure a lot of people's questions were answered thanks to you. It was lovely speaking to you, and I'm so glad to have this opportunity to sit with you and ask you all these questions and share the knowledge to everyone else out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Namrata. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Really enjoyed the conversation because you really went, deep into the subject and asked what regular people must be talking to you, I think. So it's really great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.